There's a moment every striker lives for. The silence before the roar. The ball, the breath, the beat of a heart just before history happens. For Viktor Gyökeres, that silence has become his signature. He's not loud, he's not flashy, but he's the storm you never see coming. The kind that arrives in one stride, one shot, one goal that changes everything. From a quiet boy in Sweden, icy suburbs, to one of Europe, most wanted forwards. Viktor's journey isn't one of luck. It's one of patience, grit, and precision. He doesn't crave fame. He craves impact. And in 2025, that craving has turned him into one of football's most powerful forces, with wealth, luxury, and legacy now orbiting his name. Viktor Gyökeres was born on June 4, 1998, in Bromölla, a small town in southern Sweden, more known for its paper mills than football stars. His parents weren't celebrities. They were ordinary people with extraordinary faith in their son's dream. He grew up watching Zlatan Ibrahimovic redefine what was possible for a Swedish striker, but Viktor didn't want to be Zlatan. He wanted to be himself. He started with local club IFK Aspudden before catching attention at Bromölla, one of Sweden's most respected academies. The shy, lanky boy with the quiet eyes began transforming into something sharper. His coaches said he wasn't the loudest in the room, but his work spoke for him. He wasn't born with fame. He built it, one cold morning at a time. Football in Sweden is not glamour. It's grind. It's playing under snow, running through sleet, learning that passion doesn't stop when the weather turns cruel. At Bromölla, Viktor's development was surgical. He trained like a man obsessed, not just with the ball, but with details, movement, angles, decision-making. By 18, he had become one of the most clinical finishers in Sweden's Superettan League. Scouts from England, Germany, and Portugal began circling. When Brighton and Hove Albion made their move, Viktor knew this was his moment. In 2018, he crossed the North Sea with one suitcase, one dream, and no guarantees. England wasn't home yet. It was a test. Brighton was not the fairy tale he expected. Minutes were scarce. Opportunities were few. But failure, Viktor would later say, was his greatest teacher. He spent nights rewatching training sessions, analyzing every missed chance. He didn't sulk. He studied. Loan spells came calling, first to St. Pauli in Germany, then to Coventry City. He didn't see them as demotions. He saw them as classrooms. At St. Pauli, he learned physicality. At Coventry, he learned patience. And somewhere between those two, the world began to see glimpses of the machine he was becoming. It was at Coventry City, where Viktor truly became Viktor Gyökeres. Under English skies heavy with rain and expectation, he found his rhythm. Goals flowed like a river breaking through a dam. Every match was a message. That the Swedish forward the Premier League had overlooked was rewriting the script. In 2022-23, he scored 21 goals in the championship, leading Coventry to the brink of promotion. He wasn't just scoring. He was sculpting poetry in motion. Fans adored him. Opponents feared him. Scouts, once skeptical, were now desperate. The message was clear. Viktor wasn't coming back to the Premier League to fit in. He was coming back to dominate. Then came Sporting CP. In 2023, the Portuguese giants paid a reported $20 million to bring him to Lisbon. Many called it a gamble. Within months, it looked like genius. Gyökeres exploded into form. By mid-season, he was the most dangerous striker in Portugal, a fusion of Scandinavian discipline and southern flair. He didn't just score, he hunted goals. Sporting fans started calling him the Viking Lion, because every time he roared onto the pitch, defenses trembled. Success changed nothing about his essence. He doesn't flood social media with luxury shots, but make no mistake, he lives a life of power and precision. In Lisbon, he resides in a modern hillside villa overlooking the Tagus River, sleek lines, panoramic windows, a private gym built for an athlete's soul. His car collection whispers rather than shouts, a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, a Mercedes AMG GT, and a Tesla Model X. Neighbors describe him as polite and private. He prefers dinner with close friends, a glass of fine wine and jazz humming in the background. His luxury is peace. Discipline drives everything. He wakes at dawn, meditates, and begins the same ritual he's followed since his teens: cardio, strength, precision drills. Breakfast is clean fuel, oats, fruit, black coffee. On match days, he's calm, unreadable, surgical. He doesn't chase noise. He waits for silence, and in that silence, he delivers. A teammate once said, "He's like a machine made of empathy, deadly on the pitch, gentle off it." Every athlete has a mantra. Viktor's is 3 words: earn it daily. He tattooed them on his forearm in Swedish runes. To him, every match is a reset. Every win is another climb. Faith has always been part of Viktor's story. He's not loud about it, but every time he scores, he looks up, not for show, for thanks. He keeps a small Bible on his nightstand, its pages worn from travel. He often says, "Everything I have is grace. My job is to make sure I deserve it." That humility, wrapped in steel, is what's kept him grounded in a world that worships ego. By 2025, Viktor isn't just thriving, he's dominating. He's leading the Portuguese league in both goals and assists, earning comparisons to Suarez and Van Persie. Clubs from England, Spain, and Italy are circling again, but this time it's different. He's no longer the unknown kid trying to prove himself. He's the benchmark. His market value exceeds 80 million reais, and his net worth, boosted by Nike, EA Sports, and Volvo, has passed 12 million reais. Yet success has never been his destination. It's been his responsibility. And he knows the story isn't finished. It's only halftime. By the dawn of 2025, the streets of Lisbon hum a new anthem, fans chanting his name. Posters of his calm face hang beside murals of legends. Children wear his number 9. Taxi drivers retell his goals as folklore. He doesn't just play for Sporting CP, he embodies it. Honor, grit, quiet brilliance. Off the pitch, life is deliberate. His villa overlooks the Tagus. Mornings start with espresso and silence. The house is a marriage of Scandinavian minimalism and Mediterranean warmth. Downstairs, a private gym glows under soft light. Training never stops, it only changes venue. Outside, his cars wait. A Porsche 911 Turbo S, a Range Rover Velar, a Volvo XC90 Hybrid, performance with restraint. He could have dozens, but he doesn't. He collects purpose, not possessions. Viktor's fashion mirrors his play, composed, minimal. Tailored monochrome fits, Swedish designers, limited edition Nike sneakers. He walks into events and commands attention without speaking. "Style isn't what you wear, it's how quietly you command a room," he once said. His social media follows that creed. Clean, balanced, meaningful. Viktor's fashion mirrors his play, composed, minimal. Tailored monochrome fits, Swedish designers, limited edition Nike sneakers. He walks into events and commands attention without speaking. "Style isn't what you wear, it's how quietly you command a room," he once said. His social media follows that creed. Clean, balanced, meaningful. 2025 also marks his evolution into businessman. He founded VG9 Performance Labs, developing recovery tech for elite athletes. Born from his fascination with longevity, he co-owns Nord and Sul, a Lisbon restaurant blending Nordic simplicity with Portuguese soul. These aren't vanity projects. They're the scaffolding of life after football. Fame can isolate, but Viktor surrounds himself with roots. His parents visit often. He bought them a quiet lakefront home near Malmö. His long-term partner, a Swedish interior designer, keeps his world balanced. He says softly, "The best things in life don't need applause. Sundays are sacred." He attends a small chapel, sitting in the back row, head bowed. Faith to him is maintenance for the soul. For most, luxury means excess. For Viktor, it means freedom through focus. He eats clean, sleeps 8 hours, avoids nightlife. He meditates each night, replaying goals not to boast but to learn. His chef prepares disciplined meals, salmon, quinoa, berries. The man lives like clockwork. That rhythm shows in his game. Every sprint efficient, every finish rehearsed. Commentators say he makes football look easy. It's never easy. It's engineered. By mid-2025, Viktor has become the face of sporting's global resurgence. Clubs from England, Spain, and Italy chase his signature with offers over $90 million. But Viktor doesn't rush. "You don't chase the moment," he says. "You build for the right one." That patience makes him magnetic. Kids in Sweden copy his finishes. Fans in Portugal mimic his hairstyle. He's no longer just a player. He's a movement. As of October 2025, his net worth tops $14 million. He earns about $80,000 per week, doubling with bonuses, and brings in millions from endorsements. His properties span Lisbon, Algarve, and Stockholm. But his greatest luxury is control. Every decision runs through a trusted family friend who manages his finances. No chaos, only order. Fame reveals character. It doesn't create it. Viktor's character is carved from empathy and endurance. He funds youth academies in Bromölla, supports mental health programs, and pays school fees for kids who remind him of himself. His legacy is kindness as strength. To be proof that kindness doesn't weaken competitiveness, he says. Steel wrapped in grace, that's Viktor Gyökeres. Every generation finds its warrior. Viktor is this one's quiet gladiator. He doesn't roar, he observes. Sports psychologists call his focus monastic. He visualizes matches like chess, predicting plays before they unfold. After every game, he writes notes in a leather journal he's kept since Sweden. On the first page, "Earn it daily." At 27, Viktor stands on the edge of a new chapter. He's entering his prime, but already planning beyond it. An academy in Sweden teaching humility alongside headers. A future book titled The Quiet Victory. Because that's what his life represents. Success without noise. When journalists ask for his secret, he smiles. You can't lose yourself if you never stop listening to where you came from. Bromölla built him. Brighton tested him. Lisbon crowned him. Every luxury he owns is just a mirror of the discipline that earned it. That calm, unshakable self-belief is what separates him from the rest. There's noise in victory, the narrator's voice deepens. But there's power in silence. Viktor Gyokeres isn't chasing applause. He's chasing purpose. He drives through Lisbon's night, city lights flickering off the Porsche's hood. The road hums softly beneath him, the same rhythm as his heart. He remembers cold Swedish mornings, empty fields, the echo of a ball on frozen turf. He smiles, because he's still that boy. Only the view has changed. The final image is metaphorical. A player walking off a floodlit pitch, disappearing into darkness. Not because the story ends, but because legends don't need spotlights. They create their own. From Bromölla's snow to Lisbon's sun, from humble beginnings to global recognition, this is the lifestyle of Viktor Gyökeres 2025, a journey of faith, focus, luxury, and unbreakable will. Because in the world of football, the richest life isn't the one full of cars and mansions, it is the one lived with meaning.